are more than one. Sometimes there's two, sometimes there's three. Okay, so we're going to come up with two anyways, all right? There can be two or more, makes a system. Graph the following system of equations. We did this yesterday, so this should be no big deal. Algebraically, and find the solution. So they wanted us to graph these and find the solution. Then we're going to do it algebraically, okay? So we're going to start out with 6 is my y-intercept. My slope is a positive 2. So 1, 2 over 1. I'm just going to make sure my line is going to be positive. And that kind of gives me enough to be able to draw a line. And that is 2x plus 6. Okay. Then we have this one, which is start at 3 and do, this is positive, so down 1 over 1, 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 down 1 over 1. And so here's my next one. And this is y equals x plus 3. And it's pretty obvious where the solution is. It's right here. So my solution is negative 3, 0. Okay? Well, sometimes we have to do it algebraically. Okay? We don't have a graph. All right? And a lot of times we don't have a calculator. Okay? So, in college, you may be required to do it without it. You must always show your work, even if you can find the answer in college in your calculator, you will show the steps in which it took you to get that answer. So, like I said before, steps and work is worth points in college, okay? So, when I went to college, I didn't know how to use one of these things when I went back, because I was never taught with one. And so I did everything by hand, and the kids that came out of high school only knew how to get it from here. And I scored better on the tests because they would lose points because they couldn't show their work. So here we go. This is called algebraically. To solve these, you need to see what would x equal to make both of them true statements. So all you have to do is take 2x plus 6 and set it equal to x plus 3. Remember, that's a 1x. Now you have to get your like terms on the same side. So subtract 1x, subtract 1x. I get 1x plus 6 is equal to 3. Subtract 6, subtract 6. And I get x is equal to negative 3. So I know what my x is, right? Well, that matches over here, doesn't it? Now I have to go and find my b. So you have two choices. You can do it with either equation. So you plug in your x and solve for y. I'm sorry, not b, y. All right? So I'm going to choose the first one, and I'm going to say y is equal to 2 times negative 3 plus 6. Y is equal to negative 6 plus 6. Y is equal to 0. Okay? If I had done it with the other one, I would have done y is equal to 1, x plus 3. I would have substituted y equals 1 times negative 3 plus 3, and I still would have gotten y is equal to 0. So do you see that both work, correct? Yes or no? So my solution is negative 3, 0. If I wanted to check this, what could I do?
You could go to calculator.
Oh, come on. We're not plugging it into a calculator. I should take all your calculators away.
No more y equals?
So you could do this. Either one of these, if I need to know, am I correct? I've got y is equal to 2x plus 6, and here I've got y is equal to x plus 3. Do you remember that how you can, my solution set is negative 3, 0. So I could put 0 is equal to negative 2 times negative 3 plus 6, 0 is equal to 0. Checks, doesn't it? It's a true statement. Okay, here, let's see, 0 is equal to negative 3 plus
Negative 2
3.
times 3 equals positive 6.
You actually put a negative on the 2.
Oh, I put a negative on the 2. I'm so sorry. See, you know. All right, so negative 3 plus 3 and 0 is equal to 0. So therefore, it works for both solutions. Therefore, it is an answer choice. It is the solution to this set. I'm going to turn this off for a few minutes here. I'm getting a little overheated. So sorry. It's warm in here now, isn't it?
No.
What do you mean no?
I want a thermal fan.
Isn't it kind of warm in here now?
No.
No. You guys we need to do some jumping jacks or something. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're not going to do every single one of these. Well, I guess I did the last time. So here we go. Y is equal to, so we're going to do a separate piece of paper. I'm going to do A, and I've got Y is equal to 3x minus 30, and I have Y is equal to negative 1x plus 14. So set them equal to each other. Let's set them equal to each other. Let's do 3x minus 30 is equal to negative 1x plus 14. Add 1x to both sides. I get 4x minus 30 is equal to 14. I love puzzles, and that's what this is. Add 30. Algebra's puzzles. 4x is equal to 44. Divide by 4. And I get x is equal to 11. So I know my x is 11. Now I can use either one. I'm just going to use the first one. Y is equal to 3 times 11. I'm plugging in for x minus 30. And I get y is equal to 33 minus 30. So y is equal to 3. So my solution here is 11, 3. And this is algebraically, okay? You're going to learn several different ways to do solving systems, and you will be required to know all of the different ways, okay? So that's why we are learning different ways. So the next one is same thing. Let's look at C, because it's a little interesting, okay? I've got 2x plus 3. Y is equal to 2x plus 3, and I have y is equal to 2x plus 2. Who wants to make a prediction?
Parallel lines.
There are going to be parallel lines. Why are they going to be parallel lines? Same slope. So, is there going to be a solution?
No.
No. Let's prove it. Okay? So, we've got 2x plus 3 is equal to 2x plus 2. When I subtract 2x from both sides, I end up with 3 is equal to 2. Is that a true statement? No, it is a false statement. Therefore, no solution. Period. These lines, yes, are parallel. What? No solution. No solution.
Will it work on my homework if you just wrote a circle and made a mark through it?
What?
For your solution, will it work if you just hit a circle with a mark through it?
That's fine. Okay. It means the same thing, right? Empty set, no solution. All those go together. Okay. All right, let's get into the fun of it. Let's do some word problems. We're going to be taking lots of notes today.
That's a word problem.
Okay. Trey's Online Music Club charges a monthly rate of $20 plus 80 cents per song download. All right, so what have they told me about Trey? Trey is y equals, what's my equation going to be here? 0.8 x plus 20. And now I've got Deb's Online Music Club. So Deb charges a monthly rate of $21 plus 60 cents per song download. Y equals 0.6x plus 21. For what number of songs will the monthly charge be the same for both clubs? How much will it cost? Two questions here, isn't there? Not one, two. Okay, so I need to set them equal to each other. 0.8x plus 20 is equal to 0.6x plus 21. Let's see here. I want to leave my x positive, so I'm always going to put my x wherever to leave it positive. So I'm going to subtract 0.6x, subtract 0.6x, and I get 0.2x plus 20 is equal to 21. Subtract 20, subtract 20, and I end up with 0.2x is equal to 1, don't I? And when I divide both sides by 0.2, I find x is equal to 5. So what have I just decided? How many what? What does x? Let's do this. Let x represent what? Songs. Number of songs. Okay, so we know now that the number of songs is 5, right? Okay, so what else did it ask us? How much will it cost? Okay, so we need to plug it back in. Y is equal to 0.8x plus 20. If I do 0.8 times 5 plus 20, I end up with 4 plus 20, which is 24. 24 bucks, right? If I did it on the other one, y is equal to 0.6x plus 21. I get 0.6 times 5 plus 21. And I end up with 0.6 times 5 is 3 plus 21. Well, guess what? I get the same cost for both. Isn't that what we were looking for? Okay, that is what we're looking for. I'm just proving to you that it does work. Okay, so then how am I going to answer this? The charge will be the same at both clubs with 5 songs downloaded. It will cost $24. Minimally, I'm saying this in sentences, right? But minimally, it should say cost same at 5 songs. Cost is $24. Okay? In other words, just don't put just 5 and 24, because what is 5 representing? What is 24 representing? I need to know that you know that. Okay? All right? I know. Sounds like I'm being crazy, but I'm really not. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. It says one car model costs $12,000 and costs an average of 10 cents per mile to maintain. Okay. So, let's see. Let's do number 1 model. And number 1 model is y equals, how much? What am I going to write? 0.1x plus $12,000. I wish you could buy a car for $12,000 new now. Alright. Alright, another car model. So let's do number 2 model. Costs $14,000 and costs an average of 8 cents per mile to maintain. Ooh, I'm putting 80, aren't I?
Yeah.
Ooh, be careful. Okay. 0.8 is 8 cents. Okay. Plus 14.
Then you gotta fix the top one.
Why?
Oh, no,
That's
that's
10 cents. I just left off the
He was testing us.
I just left off the 0, but you don't have to have the 0 on 10 cents, do you? Right? Okay, 0.1 is the same as 0.10 is 0.10 is point. I just try and make the math as easy as possible.
She was just testing us whenever she did that. The point.
Let x equal what? What are we having x represent?
The number of cost per mile.
Number of what?
Mile.
Of miles. Yes, you need to know what your variable is representing. And what is y equaling?
Is your
Total cost.
Total cost. All right, so here we go. 0.1x plus 12,000 is equal to 0.08x plus 14,000. I'm going to subtract 0.08x. You guys need to be careful on your math, okay? Because it's not 0.8, you'll get in trouble. So what is 0.1 subtract 0.08?
0.02.
Very good. 0.02x plus 12,000 is equal to 14,000. Subtract 12,000. And I get 0.02x is equal to 2,000. Divide both sides by 0.02. And I get x is equal to how much? 100,000. Woo!
Times 10,000.
Oh, that's a calculator. Those are illegal.
I don't mind if you use it for computation. Divided by 0.02. Nope. So, when would the cost be the same? That's the question. When would the cost be the same? After how many miles would the cost be the same? That's what it's asking. What? Okay, so the cost would be the same at 100,000 miles. And I would suggest you always check your math in the calculator, because some of you think you are looking at something when you're not exactly looking at something like you think you're looking at. Okay? So always double check your math. Okay? Oh, now we're going to get from algebraically to substitutions. Praise the Lord. I love substitution. I love elimination too. Elimination you're going to hate, let me tell you. All right. Solving each system of equations by substitution. So you try and pick, sometimes you have it very easy here where you have a y equals, okay? So here's your steps. Find the equation that has a single variable. A variable is considered single if it has a coefficient of 1 or negative 1. Okay? Put this equation in the first column. So y is a single variable with 1 or negative 1, correct? So I'm going to do this. Y is equal to 3x. Okay? Then solve for the single variable if it's not already there. So I could have used either one on this one. I could have put x is equal to y. I could have then brought my x over and y is equal to negative x plus 8. But it was just easier because I've already got solved for a single variable. Okay? Everybody good? Everybody understand? All right. Solve the single variable if it's not already done, not already alone. Okay, it's on one side of the equal sign all by itself. Write this equation in the last column. So I wrote it in the first column, and I'm writing it in the last column. Okay? Put the other equation in the second column. X plus y is equal to 8. And I'm going to have you take your paper and put it into 3 columns, and you're gonna work it like this. Okay? In the second column, substitute the single variable and solve for the other variable. So I say here, y is equal to 3x, correct? So I can take what y equals and substitute it in for y in this equation. That's why it's called substitution. So now I'm going to write this as x plus 3x is equal to 8. Okay, we're going to solve this. So now I have 4x is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4. And I find that x is equal to 2. Now, find the other value and write the solution. So now I know what x equals, don't I? So now I go and take this value and substitute it in the original one for x. And I find that y is equal to 3 times 2. Of course, they're not always going to be this simple. So I find out that y is equal to 6. So my solution is 2, 6. That's not bad, is it?
That's kind of weird though.
Okay?
Sure.
All right. You just follow the steps and you'll be good, okay? So let's try another one. Alrighty, here we go. Like I said, you could use either one. It doesn't matter. I'm going to choose to do this. X plus 4y is equal to 1. So that means I'm going to also write it in this column. X plus 4y is equal to 1. Now I'm going to solve this for x because x is by itself and it's 1x. So I'm going to subtract 4y, and I find out that x is equal to negative 4y plus 1. Okay? I'm going to write my second one over here. 2x plus y is equal to 9. Too fast? Everybody ready? Yes or no? Okay, so now x is equal to this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to substitute it in where x is. Okay, so 2 parentheses negative 4y plus 1 plus 1y is equal to 9. Telling you guys, equations are going to get fun. Okay? So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8y. 2 times 1 is plus 2. Then I still have this plus 1y is equal to 9. Combine like terms. Negative 8, positive 1 gives me negative 7y plus 2 is equal to 9. Get my y by itself, subtract 2 from both sides. I get negative 7y is equal to 7. Divide by negative 7, and I find y is equal to negative 1. Okay? So what am I going to do with that information? I'm going to take that negative 1, and I'm going to plug it in over here. Now, you don't have to draw all these arrows, okay? But I'm doing it so that when you go back to your notes, when you're watching this video, it will remind you what you need to be doing, okay? So now I have x, and you're going to solve for x. Plus 4 times negative 1 is equal to 1. X minus 4 is equal to 1. Add 4 to both sides, and I find that x is equal to 5. So my solution, or I could even write it up here, my solution to this problem is 5, negative 1. Now, if you only give me answers and you don't show me how you got there, then I'm going to assume you put it in a calculator and I'm going to mark it completely wrong. Okay? All right?
This substitution is actually
Okay? I like substitution. I even like elimination, but elimination's a little more challenging. All right, so here we go. We're going to do it again. I'm going to put 2a minus b is equal to 1, and I'm going to write that 1b so I don't forget it. Over here, I'm going to write 2a minus 1b is equal to 1. So in the middle column, I'm going to have what? 5a minus 3b is equal to 0. If you follow the steps and you use 3 columns, you'll be fine every time. Okay? It's when you start trying to skip steps, when you put it in a different kind of way, I'm telling you, you're going to get mixed up and confused. It's just easy to use the 3-column system. Don't try and work your different problems down. So, subtract 2a, because I have my 1b already. So, negative 1b is equal to negative 2a plus 1. Divide by negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. Because I need, or multiply by negative 1. It doesn't matter what way you do it. Okay? I get b is equal to negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. And this is going to give me a negative. So now I know that b is 2a minus 1. So wherever b is where I'm plugging it in. You will always need your middle column to be the largest, okay? Because that is where, see how I have to expand this? So you're going to need your middle column to be the largest column. So now I have 5a minus 3 times 2a minus 1 is equal to 0. 5a, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6a. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3 is equal to 0. 5a minus 6a, combined like terms, is negative 1a plus 3 is equal to 0. Subtract 3 from both sides, you end up with negative 1a is equal to negative 3. Divide by negative 1, and you get a is equal to 3. Now I'm going to take my solution to a, go back and substitute it in here. I've got 2 times 3 minus 1b is equal to 1. I have 6 minus 1b is equal to 1. Add 6 to both sides. Subtract 6, you're right. Oops. Subtract 6. I end up with negative 1b is equal to negative 5. Divide by negative 1. And b is equal to 5. Now, you need to know something. How would I list this? Because it's not x and y, and you're used to x and y. Just so you know, in variables, the alphabet, it's always done alphabetically, Okay? So if they give you A and B, you would list A first, B second. Okay? So my solution would be 3, 5. Okay? If I had tried to use the other one, 5a minus 3b is equal to 0, just to show you first, it would have been a lot more complicated, because let's say that I added 3b to both sides. I would have ended up with 5a is equal to 3b, then divide by 5. I would have ended up with a is equal to 3/5 b. Do you see that 3/5? Yeah, you could do it, but it's a lot more complicated to work with. Do you see that? Okay, so that's why you try and get the one that's a single variable and use that one as your first equation. All right, we have a couple of more here, and we are running low. So I'm going to try one more over here in example 3, and I'm going to do it by substitution, and I'm going to do it on a piece of paper, and so that you can kind of see how we would go about this. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to use this first. I'm going to do y is equal to x minus 2. I'm going to do 2x plus 2y is equal to 4. And like I said, I'm going to leave extra room in that middle column. And then I'm going to come over here, y is equal to x minus 2. So I've already got it in a y equals format, don't I? Okay. So y is equal to this. So this makes it simple. So all I have to do is come over here and substitute it here. I've got 2x plus 2 times x minus 2 is equal to 4. 2x plus positive 2x times 2 times x is plus 2x. Positive 2 times negative 2 is minus 4 is equal to 4. I've got 4x minus 4 is equal to 4. Add 4 to both sides. 4x is equal to 8. Divide by 4, and I find x is equal to what? 2. So then I take that, I come over here, and I say y is equal to 2 minus 2. Y is equal to 0. So my solution is 2, 0. And if I wanted to have a proof of that, I could do 2x plus 2y is equal to 4. I'm just going to show so you can see how to prove it to yourself. 2 times 2 plus 2 times 0 is equal to 4. 4 plus 0 is equal to 4. 4 is equal to 4, which is a true statement. Therefore, that is a solution. How do you feel about that? You all right? Okay? All right. Do you want me to do one more? Yes or no? You're good? All right.